Oh, yeah, hello all. So today we will be discussing about some tricks and tips regarding software engineer roles, where which if you guys are going to pursue software engineer roles, what will be the things that you can focus on from your first year of college, etc. Okay. So who is a software engineer? Anybody knows? Any idea? Is it like if you know to code, you are a software engineer? No, it's not like that. So software, if you know to code, if you are a coder, if you do some development, that does not make you a software engineer. There are a lot of things that are prerequisites. Like why I'm telling this is because there are a lot of people who keep pinging me like they have a resume which does not have anything. They know to code, but they don't. They know a basics of some DSA and all, but they don't know what exactly it means by a software engineer. That's why they are like pushing me to uh, for some entry level jobs and all. Then I keep telling them, see, this and this is need to what? What? Hello?
It was some noise. I think he muted himself.
Okay. So I keep telling them, so we need to have some kind of things in your resume. Then only you can say you are a software engineer and you can apply for it. So there are some basic skills that are needed to be a software engineer. That will be the first thing that we will be sharing. Okay. And that if you have that, you are good to apply for software engineer also. Okay. So let us see about from ChatGPT what it is saying. Right. So or we will come back to that from here. Okay. If you see this particular uh, website, right, here we are talking about the roadmap to different kind of roles. So software engineer means somebody who know to code, somebody who know to how to build the system with considering the distributed system design and all the principles, and lot of there are there are so many high level design principles that you need to follow, and there are a lot of low level design principles, and which kind of database you need to choose depending upon the conditions. Like for example, if you are working for a very read heavy systems, you will be choosing MongoDB or any NoSQL databases, right? And if you are choosing some you have a system that is write heavy, you will be using some SQL databases. So there are a lot of design and so many considerations that you need to take care, as well as the complete. You should be aware of the complete life cycle of any software that you are building. It's not about you code something. You can code like just like we code for hello world, you can code for something. That does not make you a software engineer. You need to know the complete life cycle from building from requirement gathering. That is where our issue management tools and all those things stuffs comes up, right? When you go to a new company as a when you come go to a company as a software engineer, the first thing will happen is they will be assigning some Jira or some Azure DevOps work items to you, right? And it will have some task, and that task does not say like that is not like you just code it, you push it. No, it's not like that. You will need to take care of the complete life cycle of that code, like from building, developing, deploying, and testing, and making your code is secure, sure that the code is secure, and all these steps. Okay. So that is where it comes. This source code management, you should know how to manage the code, like where you are going to push. So because different companies uses different, they have subscribed to maybe GitHub. Somebody must have subscribed to some Azure DevOps repository, right? So GitLab, so many are there, right? So you need to know like which Bitbucket, lot of things are there. So what your company is using, how you are going to take care of your code. You should know versioning, Git, right? You should know Git and all. So that is the second part. Then after that, you complete your task, but after that you need to push the code, then you need to deploy the code, then You need to take care of like in some companies, not in every companies, there will be some DevOps team and all, but these days all these things are merging into like if you see in the startups from 2023 February onwards, there were no testing people's hiring. Okay, there is no testers being getting hired. All this kind of task from deploying to testing, there is no DevOps, different team for DevOps. No, you need to handle the deployment, you need to handle the testing, like you need to know the complete life cycle of the code. So this is what is happening. Okay, so because with the coming of AI, what happens is your knowledge, your skills increase as a software engineer. You, there is no separate people for DevOps team, there is no separate people for testing team, there is no different, everything comes to you, because you should be able to do every task at once. That is what is expected. Okay, so and in software engineering you have different domains that you can choose, like maybe full stack, front end, back end. Even AI engineer is, we can say, I what I feel is like in another 10 years we all will be, whoever who is joining now as a software engineer will be an AI engineer. That is how it is, the how the our skills are now moving forward. So like till last maybe some 6 months ago, till that point of time, we were basically, we can say I was a complete backend engineer, but now I am moving towards an AI engineer. In the sense, I'll talk to you about the roadmap of AI engineer as well, because this is a new thing that is coming in the market. Okay, and this is paying very huge. Okay, it's beyond what you can expect. So that is the thing. So we need to understand, it's not like if you know to code, that does not, anybody can code hello world and anybody can code it, because it's there, it's very easy, right? We see that earlier engineers were so much, now software engineers are so much. It's not software engineers, they all are, most of the people are only just we can say coders. Not all coders are software engineers. You need to understand the difference. So before you apply for any role as such, you need to understand the difference. Then it will be easier for you to understand what role matches your profile. And if you are really interested for this particular role, you need to tailor your resume around that, and you need to specifically know what are the skills required. Okay, these days Docker, Kubernetes, all these are compulsory for you to be shortlisted for any of the roles, any of the companies that you are applying for. Okay, so those are the things we will talk about. Even we will have another session where we will talk about, if you are building a particular resume for this role, what things are compulsory there. Okay, but from this session you will get to know what are the things. But even after you build your resume, or resume is not getting shortlisted, means we can have a review session where what is, we can just figure out what is missing in your resume. Okay, then available job fields and industries. So there are a lot of available fields, like in the session, in the sense, you know that the digital transformation started happening like maybe 5 or 10 years ago, right? And most of the companies, they started hiring people for earlier, which were everything were in manual, those all started coming towards the online mode, and there came the necessity for the developers, right? For example, in if I'm talking about my first company, okay, Enphase Energy, it was a solar company, solar energy company. They were building micro inverters. Completely, it has nothing to do with software, right? But by the time I was joining, like in 2021, they had a requirement, because their this panels, electric panels, right? That has become smart, because they have, that panel had the ability to track the live stream data, like power flowing, what are the energy consumption, everything, this and that, how much extra energy, solar energy there that particular home is producing, right? So they have a requirement, like now the extra energy that they have produced, they need to export that into the grid, and the customer need to know what is the best time to export the energy, to extra energy to the grid, so that it is profitable for him. Because this all are time series data, like you need to understand at which time you get the maximum profit and all. So there came the necessity for the software development there. Like now, what the my first job as a fresher, there was a smart panel which is called span. It was a smart electric panel. Okay, I had to integrate that panel to the web application that they have. That is, whoever is the customer, they can sign up into this particular enfaceenergy.com. They have some web UI where the customer can see how much energy my particular refrigerator or whatever is using today, and all those steps. Okay, and also on deciding like when to export the extra energy to the grid and all. So I had to integrate this particular smart panel into the Enphase system, right? So this kind of some requirements are coming up in every most of the industries, be it electrical. This one was an electro, we can say it's a electronic devices related steps, right? And we have there are like any domain you see, even Ramsey can explain a lot about Airbus, how much they are moving towards digital transformation, how many roles are opening up there. They have software engineer roles as well. And so most of the companies have these roles. Okay, but and then there are, so these are like any kind of a sector, be it aeronautical sector or be it electrical sector, mechanical sector also we have, because there are sort of a lot of smart mechanical devices that has come up, right? So, and but there are in a very different domain where there is no physical product involved, right? No hardware device or any kind of chip or nothing is involved. That is called the SaaS domain, right? Software as a service. That means what they are offering is a software product. Like it's a virtual, what you can say, it's an internet thing. Like you only have the product, which is a software. There is no hardware related to it. But that is like, it will be very fast moving sector, in the sense most of the time they will have, because the software is being used, that software that they are providing, right, that will be frequently changing. For example, we can say our Apple, like we get the Apple updates, most of the iOS update every month and all, right? So, and the complete mobile phone has every year cycle, right? So the software update happens more every month, we can say. But in some kind of startups like harness, for example, we have our product is getting shipped every week. Okay, that much frequent changes are happening every week, that we have lot of things to be released every next week, right? So this is like, so SaaS means you will be having high volume of things happening every week or every month. They're like, most of them have like a deployment cycle of like 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week, and so on. My first company that had a software release cycle of 3 months. Okay, so depending on, like if it is an MNC, it will be like a bit slow. It will be like they are already the maybe top performers in the market, right? So they don't need to ship every month or so. They will have like 3 months shipping cycle and all. So but what is beneficial for you in your early career will be to ship faster when you are in this particular domain, because that gives you a lot of control and a lot of like ownership on what you are doing. Okay, like you will be responsible for the any piece of code that you push to production, and anything breaks in there, you will be responsible. You will have to come on call, you have to explain what went wrong. It's not like you will be like you will not be uh, judged, or you will not be like fired or anything, but you are supposed to be the owner of what you made a mistake. You should be knowing how to fix it, and you have to fix it. Nobody will come and fix. There is no savior for you. Okay, it's your responsibility. Any piece of code that you push to production is your responsibility. So that gives you a lot of ownership, and that actually makes you a like you can say the first player, right? In the team, that kind of a feeling. So if you are, if we are passionate about that kind of things happening in your life, in your career, then only you should actually try to get into this kind of domains. Okay, now we will in the next slide we will talk about a lot of free websites from where you can start from learning the basic stuff. Then you can build on top of it. Then again you can upskill, and the complete roadmap we will be sharing. Okay, so I have already shared my first job experience, and we will have more upcoming sessions on this. Like, I already told you, like reviewing your resume for this particular role and what all things you can. We will also have a session on live coding, like live project building and stuff, deploying as well, all these stuff. So let us go to one of the roadmaps. So I'll talk about, like, you can go to this particular, we'll share this thing in the Zoom. Maybe we'll share it in the PPT itself. So this particular, you can go to any, so for example, we have front end, full stack, back end, all these roles, right? So these are all related to the software engineer roles. Like when the company is hiring you, they don't hire you, they will specifically tell you like you are being hired for a full stack role, or you are being hired for a front end. It all depends on what is there in your resume. Okay. If you have built so much of like UI stuffs and all, you will be hired for a front end role and all. Like, but if you have built a lot of full stack application like a Tasca has shared, right? If you have built that kind of stuff, you will be called for full stack interviews, right? So right now I am a backend engineer. So let us go through this thing. Okay, what I was hired for. So you can actually go through this dashboard, and you get to know what all things you need to learn, right? Before that, you need to first decide what tech stack you are going to choose. Okay, that is very important, because depending on the tech stack you chose, you will have to learn the steps. Like for example, I am a Java full stack developer, so I chose Java, right? Some people might be choosing JavaScript, some people might be choosing Python. So different tech stacks are there around us, around each of this. For example, if you are choosing JavaScript, you will have this MERN stack that you can focus on. For Java full stack, you need to learn this and that we will focus on. So Python also, there are some Django, some Flask and all that I'm not aware of. So these all things, first you need to choose the language, right? Second thing is, so this we already talked about. Second thing is, you need to know about how you handle your code. That is the source code management. It can be GitHub, GitLab, Bitbucket, Azure DevOps repository, the company, whatever they have subscribed to. Some company chose GitHub for themselves. Some company chose GitLab. They take the subscriptions based on whatever they prefer, right? So you need to, but it's very easy to, you just need to understand how to push your code into GitHub and all. You will get to know, you can work with any other source code management once you have experience with one of them. Okay. So that is the version control. You need to know some basics of Git that you can do from YouTube. Like there are some boot camps related to Git and all. Then so yeah, repo was telling, we already talked. Then there are, you need to choose the, like, depending upon the full the tech stack that you have chosen, you will have some database. That there are some relational databases and non-relational, that difference also, so you need to learn. Okay, so so for me, I am working as a Java with Postgres SQL in my backend, because our this particular team, the project is not a read heavy system, it's a write heavy system. So we are using Postgres, but Amazon and all, they use MongoDB, right? So MongoDB is like non-relational databases. You need to understand the difference and all. So there are, in the relation itself, there are a lot of databases available out there. So depending upon the tech stack that you are preferring, you can learn one or two. And even more, I think this is a little bit outdated website, because these days we have this one. We have right now. I'm working with Spark SQL, along with Star Oaks, and there is this thing called what it is. I forgot its name. There is a new database that has come up in the market. I am very bad with the names. Okay, I'll talk to you about that as well. Spark SQL. Anybody know? Hi. Anybody know about it? Yeah, it is Iceberg. It is called. Okay. So Iceberg table is super fast. And like in the Postgres, we have this problem with joins and all, right? It becomes very slow. But Iceberg is super fast, because they have this, MVs on top of it, which you can query with Star Rock and also that also you can you will explore those things when you are working in a company. For example, I tell you, so my company is a SaaS company, right? Every this you need to also you need to subscribe to the newsletters of Netflix, any SaaS products. Okay, any big functioning SaaS products. Then you get to know like what they are using recently. Okay, so they all started using Iceberg, and they started talking about the advantage of that. Then we also understood, okay, we also need to use that. So that's how you get to that's how you stay updated in the market. Okay, it's very important to be updated in the market in this domain. It's not like you can't go absolute. Like you keep using something that has been used 10 years ago, you will not, your product will not do good, right? So you need to be subscribed to the every company out there, whatever they are doing, whichever temporal, there is a new thing that has come into the market, that is the temporal, which is used for the like job processing and all. That is also here. I can just it's open source. You can, if you just search github.com/temporal, you can just figure out what are the use cases of this. Okay, so this is open source, anybody can use this thing. So you can go through this. So these are also, this is also being used by Netflix and all. So that's how we get to decide, like somebody gives a feedback of this is working well, then you can figure out whether it will work for my product as well, or my product has a similar kind of use case, then let us use it. So that's how you decide. Okay, so that is how the advantage of working in a SaaS product. Okay, but when I was in the end phase, which was a hardware based company, right? So they didn't care about like what is newly happening in the market and all. So it will be like my role will was going to be absolute type of stuff, right? So you need to be very careful about the role that you are choosing, the company, the product that you are choosing. Okay, so that is one thing. And yeah, and this Redis and Memcache, these are all for the caching and all. That this in the high level, so you have high level design and low level design from until 3-4 years of experience. Even for these days, even for three, even when I was having 2.5 years of experience, they even had a HLD round for me, that in some company. It was a startup company. So high level design is being used, even being used, asked in the interview, even for like 2 years of experience these days. So you need to understand the high level design, low level design aspects of it. In that, this all things will come, the caching and all will come. Okay, and say CDNs, these are very important. This all get asked in the our high level design interviews. Okay, then you need to understand. So many things are coming up, and authentication and all. Like you can't, you create some APIs and you can't just expose it to the public as such, right? It will be like it can have malicious attacks, and also you need to be careful with authentication and all. There are a lot of authentication available out there. You need to decide this and that based on the use cases, because expiry time and everything matters depending upon what you are what API endpoint it is, what it is exposing. So a lot of steps are there. Then comes the microservices architecture. Earlier, like maybe 10 years ago, most of the companies had like, if it was even one of my project in my first company was migrating from monolith to microservice. Okay, so they had a monolith, the complete I told you, like npacenergy.com, there was a UI, there was a website, right? There was a web app. So the complete thing was in a single monolith, which was written on Ruby on Rails. I don't know how many lines of code it was. A big monolith. And the tough point is like, you need to make some changes and you need to deploy it. It will take you a lot of blast radius can be high. You can't even figure out like the deploying it and getting a approval for that change, even if it is a small change, will take a lot of time. So then companies go to know, like this was happening 10 years ago. Okay, then most of the companies understood the microservices architecture, and all this came up like after the Spring Boot came in terms of Java. I'm saying earlier all these companies were using maybe core Java, I don't know. This for my company, it was Ruby on Rails in the complete monolith. Then what we when I joined, I got another project to revamp, like break this monolith to multiple microservices depending upon the use cases. So many use cases are there, right? Some will be like for securing your application. One of the things that I have worked was like this one, cloud security microservices. So what I am doing is we have a lot of Encharge, Empower, so many hardware devices in the Enphase step, right? I need to secure those devices with the operational and birth certificates, that like MTLS communication. When you are learning about that mutual TLS communication, you need to understand those any devices which are talking to the web, there should be a mutual TLS happening. Handshake should happen. So for that, you need to have, they will have need to have a certificate here. There will be a certificate chain, that is a PKI. Anybody know PKI architecture, public key infrastructure? So you can learn about those stuff. It will all come in cloud security. Okay. So my this particular microservice, what was that? Cloud security microservice. Its function was to deliver birth and operational certificates to these devices so that their communication can be authenticated with the our NFA system, right? So this kind of stuff comes up. So microservice architecture, now I think in most of the companies, we are having microservices architecture only, where we have REST APIs, different endpoints, different microservices for different applications, right? We and there are some monorepo architecture also coming up. Even for front end as well, they have front end. Earlier it was front end, single front end application, right? Now they have also got into the micro front end architecture, where you will have micro, like just like microservices, different module, like maybe you have a different tabs for different front end application or some sort of stuff. Okay. So then there is this GraphQL also you can explore a bit. That is also a very good thing. You can just see, you can click everything and you can understand what this stuff is. Okay. So I have also worked with this GraphQL thing. If you have some doubt, you can ask to me as well. So these things we have talked, SHA and all, I think this all comes in the web security. These are you need to understand the basics of stuff and all. And another, then comes the testing. I told you already, testing and the CI/CD means the build, creating the build and deploying is also your responsibility. I told you, right? In the testing also, you need to learn a lot of testing things, stuffs like how to do integration testing, unit testing and stuff, functional testing, all these things comes up. Then these all are completely necessary to be a software engineer. Okay, you can't skip any of these things. If you are applying for a backend role, you can't skip any of these things. Okay. And in the, at least you should have worked with any of the build tools, like maybe like Jenkins and all, right? And for deployment also, you have tools like we have like Harness, CI/CD stuff. There are a lot of other deployment tools as well. You need to have the idea of at least one deployment tool. Okay. Then, and also there are, then there comes a lot of lot of theorems and lot of principles, like acid principle is there, some solid principle is there, some cap theorem is there. So if when you are learning all these stuff, you get to know all these topics will come up. Okay, these are all coming under the databases. You need to learn like which database, when you are choosing what you whenever you are choosing a database, right? You will be that is a trade-off, like trade-off between some step, like you will be taking consistency and availability or something, and you are trading off, okay, I don't want partition tolerance, this kind of steps. Okay. And also then how to create, how to make your system like more consistent and all. Then comes the locking, like different kind of transactions available, different kind of locking mechanisms, all the steps comes up. That these all are very much important. And concurrency, how you handle the concurrency, that is where the transactions, the different kind of locking comes up. Okay. And multi-threading concurrency is very important. Like for example, if you are creating any kind of book my show or any kind of that application, where like in book my show, booking a seat is considered the, like that is the pain point step, right? Multiple people can reach out to the same particular seat if it is a distributed system, right? And then how you handle the inconsistency, it's very important, right? You, somebody books, pay, he does the payment and he does not get the seat, it will be a huge problem. Similarly, like Razor Pay and all, any kind of payment application, right? It's very critical, like you need to handle concurrency and all. uh, so uh, there is a rubric, rubric is too much hiring these days, like from one year, and also I am seeing for, but there for, if you have, if you need to get shortlisted, their minimum requirement is you need to know complete things about concurrency and multi-threading. Okay. So if you can search in YouTube, learn some courses. It's very easy to learn. It's not a rocket science or anything. Very easy, but it's compulsory. It should be in your resume, maybe listed in your skill or somewhere. Then this rubric can like this. I'm saying a simple example. Okay, so any company, when you are applying, you need to understand. There will be like a job description. They will be saying this and this skill is required. So something they are very specific. You need to learn those things. So these days, multi-threading is very important. Okay. So, and this scaling database, this all comes under high level design. Okay, what are the different sharding strategies, how the MongoDB is sharded, different how the DynamoDB is, how their architecture looks like, what they are, any kind of databases you can take out and you can understand how their architecture looks like, how the data replication is handled. And cap theorem, I already told you, it's one of the important theorem in the choosing the databases. And then once you know cap theorem, you know many things about choosing the databases and how your database perform every kind of those steps. Okay, then with this we already talked about the different architectural patterns. Monolith stuff is gone, okay, nowadays, but you still need to know what was monolith and why we get rid of monolith, why we move to microservices. If you have this kind, like if you have worked earlier on, if you are a bit older guy, if you have worked with monolith and if you have worked migrating to microservice, it's a very good thing. Like I am a like in my resume, there is this thing called I have migrated some monolith to the microservice, right? So it's one of the key thing. Then you know like what is the difference between the monolith and microservice and those kind of steps. Okay, so these are the things, yeah, which it makes your resume like look knowledgeable. You have this kind of knowledge about your domain that makes it outstanding. Okay, then design and development principles. Some design principles comes in the low level design part. So I think we are somewhat done with the high level design part. Then there will be low level design part also. You need to take care of different design patterns that you need to follow. Uh, there are a lot of stuffs in the level as well that we are also sharing the LLD playlist that I have followed. Then comes the deployment. Like so I told you some of the companies, when for them to shortlist you these two are compulsory. Okay, Kubernetes and Docker. Kubernetes, like it's just a container where like it's a Google Clouds. If I don't know, it's my okay. I can't just to show you because it's my company owned stuff. But I think you can even get to see it through playlist channel. What is Kubernetes? It is a container where your code is deployed, and it's like a app hosting that we are doing in our this one. I think Firebase. Maybe you, if any of you guys has experience with Firebase, you can actually Firebase is built on top of Kubernetes. Okay, so you can just click and you can understand a little bit about these things as well. Okay, how to run application, what are the different ports. There will be some ports and some deployments. There are some kind of steps that you need to handle there. Okay, some services where you are deploying and what are the ports, what are the configuration from where you we capture the configurations, like environment variables, right? So like in local you can have an environment variable, but in the pod, in that particular pod, in that particular cluster, how you define the environment variables, right? So there is some strategy to follow. So it's not like in every company will be using Google Cloud, right? Some company might be using like my previous company, it was using this one, Amazon's AWS. So we used to deploy our microservices into EC2. It's a virtual machine, just like Kubernetes, a bit different. The terming and terms and condition things will be different, but the purpose is the same only. And there are like some serverless things also we used in the AWS. It is like it's called AWS Lambda functions and all. There the all the server configuration we don't need to care about. But EC2 means it's not a serverless, it's a server based stuff. Okay, so Docker is used. This also very important. These two things are say some things I told you which are very important. You need to learn. Most of the things are here important only, but some steps are very important. Docker, you need to know Kubernetes. It's very important. And then comes these are some high level steps. Even if you don't know as a fresher, it's okay. Like you need to work with Elastic, for example. Like if you are a data analytics product, right? My this company's the current company's product where I am working on, it's a data analyst product. So a lot of you need to do some very tough queries and all. But if you are doing that with a database like the Postgres database that we have, right, it will take a lot of time. So what we are doing, we have some data that we have done ETL on. ETL means, extract, transform, and load, right? Then instead of pushing to the database, we can push into this Postgres. We can also push to the Elasticsearch, and Elasticsearch query is very fast, and even Elastic search you can write it to it is also very fast. So and these days we are not using that one. We are using another thing called we have, I told you, right, we are using iceberg, and because we have Starrock and all, this is not needed anymore because ETL on Starrock is super fast. Like earlier, when we used to do ETL in this Postgres or Elasticsearch, it used to take like 2 3 days and all. Now it's like in 10 minutes you can finish the same volume of data. That is super fast. So those kind of steps. Then this we already talked about different kind of DBs and all. And Firebase is very important, guys. You can you need to as a complete beginner, if you want to develop and deploy some any application. Okay, for example, you want to deploy some your own YouTube. Okay, and you want your friend to be able to see it and all, right? As a complete fresher, it feel really amazing. You can use Firebase. They have their app hosting, they have their cloud store and every stuff. They You can even deploy. You can have your own DNS name and all. You can share it to your people. Any kind of app you can develop and you can share it to anybody you want. At least for 100 200 real time users, Firebase will be free for you. You don't need to pay any single rupees. It is completely free. Okay, you can try this out. We will have a live session for Firebase deployment, coding, and everything, and sharing it to other people and all those kind of stuff. We are planning that immediately. Okay. Then Cassandra and all these are kind different kind of AWS we already talked about. So some kind of different kind of databases. Depending upon the use cases, you will be using different steps. Okay. I have never worked with Cassandra. I have only knowledge. I learn all these steps because during interview preparations, it's very important. Okay. But depending upon the company you are in, you will be using different databases depending upon the use cases, right? Then there is some building for scale. Like you need to understand the migration and all that. These are not that much important for starting with, because this will be handled by after like 5 6 years of experience, guys. So till this point you need to learn all these steps. These are the complete roadmap to be a developer. I mean, to be a software engineer, right? Now, I think let's go back to our slide. I think so. We have covered a lot of stuffs. We have talked about the different kind of tools that comes up and what knowledge you need. And okay, finally, we didn't talk about this one, incident management. So there is this. So I told you, right? You will be responsible for the things that you do, right? For example, you deploy something and you might be getting some pager duty alert for something that has gone wrong in the production. Some customer is raising some bugs and all. So that all things will be handled in the incident management. There are so a lot of incident management tools out there. So depending upon the company that you are in, some they will be using this and that, fire hydrant, so many kind of the stuffs are there. So it's not like it will be. It's not like some people in the social media, in Instagram and all, I see some people are like they are on call engineer in their team for like 2 weeks, and some incident happens and they are supposed to work 2 a.m. in the morning. No, nothing, that kind of stuff does not happen. If you are an on call engineer, you will be like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Any alert can come. If the alert is for any things that you didn't work on, you are not responsible to fix it. You just need to, it's like uh, they will be creating from the fire hydrant. There are some pipelines you can create the Jira tickets and stuff, and the responsible engineer who has worked on that particular piece of code, they need to handle it. And if it is the one that you have done also, after 9 p.m. there will be a different on-call engineer in different time domain. For example, in if you have the market in the US and all, for in our case, we if I am on call, I need to be on call from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. From 9 p.m. to next 9 a.m., any guy from the US will be on call. It's not like at 2 a.m. you will be sitting and looking at the alerts and you will be fixing. No, no. And there is no immediate thing like you need to fix it today itself, nothing like that. The tickets will be created. If it's a P1 issue, like all the customers are blocked, you will have to, if it is done by you, you will have to fix it. But it's not like some other people's bug also. If you are on call, you need to fix it. No, nothing, that kind of things does not happen. People are exaggerating stuff like it's difficult to be a software developer and all. No, it's not like that, guys. some people don't know to create the boundary between your work and life. That is when this kind of stuff happen. Okay. Now there is very important thing that we need to share. Why is this is not working? Sorry for this. Okay. So let us come to this. So we have attached all the links that is required. Okay. You can start with the DSA. DSA, even if you see, I became a software developer without anybody's help. I tell you, because my professor was teaching me in Hindi and I didn't know anything in the first year. I didn't get any help in the DSA from my professor. Okay, that is the only course I done in the college as a in software field. Other all things were I was a electrical engineering student, right? So DSA I didn't learn from the professor or anybody. So from my experience, I am telling you, and I know a lot of people who has become software developers only with their effort. So it's not like you need to sign up for some high paying course or something. So first thing is you need to learn data structures and algorithms, right? So for that you can use Geeks for Geeks. That link is there added. Then after that you need to practice the DSA that you have done. That for that you can do some problems. You need to at least do 400 problems, including easy, medium, and hard. Hard maybe can be some 20, 30. It's okay, but medium is too much important. You can do this problems from lead code, at least 400 problems across any websites. It's not only lead code, you have interview and hacker rank, hacker earth, a lot of things are there out there, right? And these days there are some code ninja, so many steps are there. So you can use any websites, but you need to do total of at least 400 problems. Then you will be a master in DSA. I can assure you. Okay, I have done only maybe for me, like I have started from my second year of college, like till now might be I have crossed 1,000 plus problems, but at least you do 400 problems, you will be so much good that you will have that logic build up. You will be able to solve any question. Okay, no, I'm not saying hard questions. Till medium question you will be able to solve, and most of the companies use ask only medium question. Even if I say I have given the Google's SDA interviews till the last rounds, I didn't get any offer, but till the last round I was able to solve all the problems, the DSA problems that were given to me, and none of them were hard. Most of them were till medium only. And I have also shared the link that has helped me. Okay, you can also, if you are interested to crack any big companies, or so, if once you prepare for Google, right, any other company will be very easy for you. You can crack very very easily. Okay, so you can and this particular this is for if you are learning, like if you are focusing on Java Spring Boot, like a Java tech stack, then for you need to learn core Java and all. For that you can use this particular YouTube channel. Okay, and Spring Boot basics also you can learn from that. And then comes and for Spring Boot I have also done some Udemy courses whose link I have shared already to you already. If I can find it again, I will attach to this one. Then comes you need, okay, for DSA beginners, we have these two links we have attached. One is the Striver wala link. That some people feel that Striver's way of speaking and all is a bit overwhelming. Then you can use the other one. They are most of the people are solving the same question set of questions only, so it's okay. They have the playlist for all the algorithms, all different kind of topics out there. uh, but the thing is, you once you complete one playlist, you should be like, for example, you finish the binary search playlist, there can be different kind of problems that are that there are available out there. Even for me, when I was interviewing for the Google's, right, Google interview, one of the round where I fourth or fifth round, I was asked a problem. uh, if you haven't complete the Strivers DSA playlist for binary search, you will never understand that problem from the first. Once you read it, you will never understand it's about binary search. Okay, but because I have completed the playlist from the first reading itself, first once I complete the reading, I understood it's a binary search. So binary search problems are like, once you complete the playlist, right, any kind of topic that you will never think initially in the first, and binary search it will not be, but it is that. So That kind of thing is there. This people's playlist is very good. Okay, if you finish the playlist for any of the topics, you can do any problem out there in the world, anywhere in the internet, on that particular topic. That is my assurance for you, because I completely trust there. So you might be thinking why I didn't get the offer. That even I don't know. But I was completely sure. Even I took the feedback from the interviewers, like about my way of solving the problem and everything, and it was very good only. And even I don't know what, maybe some other reason why I didn't get. But the thing is, it's once you complete the playlist, you will be ready for any interviews out there. You will never face rejection, that I can assure you. Okay, then YouTube channel for system design. This that Shreyansh Jayanwala system design. There are a lot of system design YouTube, because this Shreyansh made some of the videos payable. Like once you pay only you can see. But there are other YouTubers out there also who are also talking about the same problems. There are a set of I think I'll share you in the WhatsApp chat. There is a set of uh, system design problems you need to solve before you appear for any interviews, even as a fresher, because these days LLD round is there completely. It's not like you can't skip it. Even for freshers it's compulsory. During our time LLD was not there for the freshers. So I'll share you the set of problems which you can practice, and you can find the solution, different kind of way of solving those problems in the YouTube. So many channels are there. Yeah. So that's it. I think we are done. Now let us, if you have any doubt, you can start asking. Is there any doubts, guys? Okay, Ramsey, I think there is no doubts. Can we end the session?
I think, yeah, I mean,